Hello, audience. Hello, YouTube. Square Boy here, bringing the best material into YouTube, into this platform. Well, all jokes aside, I'm going to explain to you guys and share with you all a story of how I got fucked up on drugs, psychedelics, and a little bit of cannabis last week, 5 days ago exactly. And this is strictly for harm reduction purposes. I do not condone the use of any drug, legal or illegal, illicit or whatever. I do not condone any drug use. I actually am against it, primarily. But the story that I have to tell is pretty interesting. It was life-changing. It was life-moving as well. So basically what happened is my friend had my friend has a lot of drugs with him all the time. Not with him constantly, but he has them in his inventory inside his home. And basically, he had a lot of psychedelics. And if you don't know what psychedelics are, they're a type of drug classification that cause an altered state of mind, auditory or visual hallucinations, and a complete ego death for most of them. For most psychedelics, and just altered state of consciousness. It's basically just a world mover. And the three psychedelics that he had with him on his inventory were shrooms, magic mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, LSD, also known as acid, and DMT, which was ridiculous. I had no idea how he had DMT on him, or how he had DMT in his home. It's so difficult to find DMT on the streets here. And so he said, alright, Square Boy, do you want to do some drugs? You want to get fucked up? I got some weed, I got some fucking LSD, I got some psilocybin mushrooms, and I got some DMT. And first I was like, no, I'm not planning to do psychedelics yet. I've done shrooms before, 6 grams, my first time. But I'm not planning to get fucked up on psychedelics, especially DMT. I'm afraid of that shit. And he's like, don't be a pussy, Square Boy. Come on, do it. And so I kind of got the balls to do it. He was a good friend of mine. He was a good friend of mine. I'm not his friend. But so we go ahead. I go to his place. He picks me up, and no one's home. And what happens is, he gives me the acid. First, before anything started, we smoked the bowl of weed from his pipe. Then he gives me about, let's say, 400 micrograms of LSD. And at that time, I was new to acid. This was my first time dropping acid. I didn't know what the fuck a microgram was, or what the fuck I was supposed to, or how much the dosage was, or what an average dose was. I had no clue. I was ignorant to it. And he said this is an average dose, and it looked kind of large to me. But I put 2 pieces under my tongue, 2 strips under my tongue at a time. Wait until it dissolved. Then I put 2 and 2 and 2. And I kept going until the whole sheet was gone. And then he said, come on, you gotta eat these shrooms. And I said, I'm not fucking eating those mushrooms. Make it into a tea. And he said, no, I don't know how to do that, so you're just going to fucking eat these shrooms. Like, there's no other option. He had a huge bag full of shrooms. Probably had about 30 to 40 mushrooms in it. And they're pretty big. And I ate about 11. And I threw up a couple times, so I had to eat more. And so that was out of the way. And I said, are we doing this DMT? He said, wait until you start tripping out. I was like, why can't I do it now? He's like, no, you don't want us to do it now. You'll get really fucked up. And I said, okay. So I waited and waited. The shrooms and acid took a while to kick in. And when they did kick in, I was sitting on his couch. We were watching Netflix. We were watching The League. That fantasy football fucking show. That comedy, spin-off show. Yeah, we were watching it. and immediately, 40 minutes, immediately after I took the substances around 2:20 in the afternoon, and when the time hit 3:10, immediately I looked at my phone, because I said, oh, it will take about 50 minutes, so as soon as it hit 3:10, I looked at my phone, checked the time, and when I saw my phone, immediately I knew I was fucked up. The phone looked very large. It was not red anymore. My phone is red. The case is red. It was purple. The actual phone part looked gold, and it was gleaming. It was so colorful. I said, oh shit. And I threw up because the effects were so strong. I threw up just because it was so intense and I couldn't handle it. And I threw up. I didn't throw up mushrooms this time because they were already digested, and it was already done. The psilocybin was already absorbed into me. And so basically, I was tripping the fuck out, seeing kaleidoscopes and kaleidoscope vision like I did with weed, and I was already fucked up on weed at the time, and I was seeing just a bunch of colors and shit on the walls, and it was pretty enjoyable for me at first, but then I started to wait. 20 minutes after I initially started tripping, I started seeing bugs. And if you don't know me too personally, you better know this. I am fucking afraid of bugs. I'm so afraid of insects. I just have a fucking phobia for them. I fucking hate them. They're one of my pet peeves. So I started seeing bugs, giant centipedes crawling on the walls. I saw bugs on my arms, and I was freaking the fuck out. And my friend his head looked like a fucking ant. Like, he had like a giant ant head as his head, and I was like, fuck no. But immediately, like, disappeared. Like, the bugs were still on my arms and shit, but, 2 seconds after I saw his head, it was back to normal. And I was tugging on this kid. I was like, dude, I'm tripping the fuck out, dude. I can't handle this. I cannot handle this. He said, dude, chill out. We gotta smoke some DMT now. I was like, no. He's like, square boy, if you smoke this DMT, you won't feel that fucked up anymore. I said, really? He said, yeah, because you'll pass out and you'll be fine. It'll all be good. So, plus, we went out of the house to smoke the DMT because we didn't want the home to smell, so we went in those woods. And the shrooms, I'd already done shrooms before, but with the shrooms and acid as a combination was thoroughly ridiculous. The trip was thoroughly crazy. It was fucking ridiculous. I was in a different platform of life. I felt like I was not existing. I didn't know who I was anymore. Complete ego death. I was scared to all hell. Kept on seeing fucking locusts everywhere. I heard locusts. I heard a bunch of shit. And, this was not good because LSD is not supposed to make you or cause you hear anything. So I was like, dude, this might be like shitty acid. Like, this might have like some fucking testing material in it from a fucking lab out in Iowa or some shit. Like, it was not good. And then, so we get in his woods. And his woods are like right behind his house, and he gets his pipe, and he fucking gets his lighter. He said, do you want first hit? I said, yeah, sure, whatever. So I take it. First hit, I coughed. He said I had to hold it in for 20 seconds. I could only hold it in for 12. But he actually kind of lied to me. You're only supposed to hold it in for 4 seconds. But I held it in for 12. And goddamn, it was a whole new platform. Everything seemed like 6-dimensional. It was ridiculous. I felt like I could see through shit. And everything was like polygonal. It was just weird. It was just a weird plane of geometry in my perception. It was fucked. I fucking hated it. It was a pure catastrophe for me. and plus the shrooms and the LSD being at the peak was just ridiculous. I can't even explain to you how fucked up I was. This was the most fucked up I've ever been my whole entire life. And this is probably the most that would probably be the most fucked up I will ever be in my life. I will never get to that stage again. And so I knew a little bit about DMT. I knew that you could break through and pass out, but I kind of didn't want to, but I kind of wanted to because I wanted this to end. And he didn't even take a hit. I said, why aren't you smoking this DMT? He said, I'm giving the rest to you. I don't want to smoke this anymore. I said, why not? It's yours. He said, well, you're the testing subject for today. He said he has never even done DMT. He said he's never smoked it. So I was like, oh, okay. What the fuck? And so I take about 2 more hits. After the 3rd hit, I passed out. I don't remember myself passing out, but after the 2nd hit, I just heard I heard this faint buzzing noise just all around. It was like a vibrato. It was like a vibrato noise, like that frequency. It was vibrating my head. I just felt so flustered. It was like a clusterfuck of just paranoia that was sweeping through me. I felt paranoid. I felt like I got fucked by Picasso, dude. Like, it was just pure artwork inside my mind. It's ridiculous. And the buzzing noise was just getting me paranoid. It was destroying my inside. It was destroying my insides, my brain, my interior sanity. It was destructive. And so, the 3rd hit, when I took the 3rd hit, I knew I was ready to break through. And I don't remember actually passing out, but I guess I passed out just in the middle of the fucking woods. And I can't really tell you or explain to you what happened during the DMT experience because I was so fucked up, and like, you can't really remember too many things, but all I could tell you was I saw aliens. This is the only thing I really remember. I saw aliens and shit all around. I felt like I was like a geometric city, like just in the future, just looking into like a fucking video game. It was just ridiculous. Like, I felt like a fucking Rubik's Cube. And so that's all I remember. The aliens, and they were talking to me. They looked very strange. They looked fucking scary, but they looked cool and comforting at the same time. And I remember the one, it was the tallest one, told me, don't become astonished. You're here, and you'll only be here temporarily. Don't become astonished or else you will die. I said, oh shit. And it felt like real life. It was ridiculous. And everything felt more real than actual real life. Like, it felt more real. It felt more vivid. It felt more lucid. It was just ridiculous. And that's all I remember from it. It seemed like it lasted 8 hours, but it only lasted 15 minutes. But it seemed like a third of a day that I was in that trip, and I don't remember much of anything. And plus the acid made it, and the acid and LSD definitely, the acid and the psilocybin mushrooms definitely made it more intense, but it's still ridiculous. And remember, I woke up, and my friend was making me cookies, like one of those Pillsbury ones, those ones that come in the Pillsbury things, this little tasty but really nasty cookies that he made. He put in the oven, and he set them right beside me. He put like a warm, wet towel on my head, like he was being a good host. And he said, dude, how was it? And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he's like, dude, you look like a fucking alien. You're an alien. Your pupils are wide as fuck. They're dilated as fuck. I said, what? And I couldn't even understand what he was saying. He's like, dude, your pupils are, like, your eye is, like, completely black. The middle of your eye is completely black. Like, I can't see the color part of your eyes. And I was like, damn. I looked in the mirror, and I looked like it was actually kind of an ego boost, I felt like I looked real, like I looked like that was what I actually looked like In real life, I look at myself, I don't look real. I look like an abomination. I look like just a different thing, like a fucking creature when I'm sober. But then, like, with the acid and the shrooms, it was kind of an ego boost for me, you know. And I was tripping out for a while, but then I became accustomed to the effects, and I was just kind of letting it slide. It wasn't a bad trip anymore. That's basically all that happened, or that's all that occurred. And I would never do it again, and I would not recommend you doing any psychedelics, or any of you doing any psychedelics, because it's fucked up. And that's my story. Thanks. Subscribe for more. Bye.